Hi, I'm Mark Ramsauer here at Randolph Center. Our leisure class adult program, Tucson Parks and Recreation, have been missing you. We're going to offer some YouTube and Zoom videos to bring you back into our studio. Our instructors and staff have been missing you and hope we can all return together soon to our spacious studio here at Randolph Center. The fall program guide will be available online only at www.ezeereg.com the first Saturday of August. We hope you'll all rush quickly to your iPad, computer, or digital device to register for classes beginning soon. Today I'm going to demonstrate the process of creating a cuff bracelet in copper, and along the way I'll talk a little bit about what we've done here to make this studio space a bit more secure for everyone to feel safe. So, beginning with a sheet of copper, 6 inches by not quite 2 inches wide, I'm going to use a machine called a rolling mill and impress a texture. This happens to be a metallized ribbon, widely available, but you can use anything from dried corn husks to paper towel to create a background texture on the surface of this cuff bracelet. Beginning here with the rolling mill, making an impression as the 2 rolls push against the sheet metal and print the copper. Now, through the magic of television, we have one form that shows the embossing. We're going to anneal this at the bench, turn on the big torch, and make it hot now. Okay? Lighting the torch. Heating this copper sheet to a dull red color under the flame, which will make it soft and pliable, ready for the next step. Plunge this copper sheet into cold water, process that's called quenching. Which then makes the bracelet quite soft and pliable. So I mentioned earlier that we have undertaken to add some safety precautions to our studio space. We've cut our class size by half so that everyone can maintain that all-important physical distancing. We've also had plexiglass guards established, put up between the benches for your safety. We will also require mask wearing at all times in the studio once our classes are back underway. So we've annealed and pickled our blank for the hydraulic press bracelet forming. We'll now use the heart of the process, the hydraulic press, and a sheet of special rubber called urethane. Placing the copper form diagonal across this urethane sheet and using a pre-formed wire, consists of 2 parallel sine wave forms evenly spaced down the middle of the copper sheet. Into the press frame goes the roller printed copper bracelet form with the wire embossing item. I'm going to raise the platen on the press, bring pressure to bear. Now the wire form is embossing from what will be the backside or the inside of the bracelet. This process allows the bracelet to fold and collapse in the final process, giving the distinctive shape of the finished bracelet form. So, the next step in the process is annealing once again, heating to that dull red color, plunging into cold water and quenching, returning the now somewhat stiff bracelet form to malleability or a softness. The next step involves forming the sheet around the insert. This is same type of rubber called urethane in a different shape. Form that around, and the tricky part is getting these ends to match up perfectly, because the next step involves soldering. Now I've found that by hammering or using the rolling mill to flatten a strip of medium wire solder and putting one long strip down that seam, I get a very full, complete, and even soldering job. So once the soldering is complete, then the form is shaped and these restraining rings are placed on the edge, top and bottom. Sometimes a little encouragement is required. Fitting the rings to the copper is essential. And it's very soft now and could blow out under the pressure. Silver, not necessary, but I recommend using the restraining rings. Now that we've done all that, roller printed a texture, embossed the sine wave wire, soldered the ends together, and fitted the restraining rings with the insert in the middle, we'll now undertake the final process with the hydraulic press. Some like to call it squishing. We're going to compress the bracelet now. Bringing the bottom plate up to meet the top plate. And once we make contact, then applying pressure. And as the pressure grows, the bracelet form collapses along the embossed lines and creates very attractive looking copper bangle, cuff bracelet. Finally, removing one ring, placing the bracelet with the bottom ring back in the press, adding a small plastic pipe pusher, tooling has developed over time and is rather like an astronomer who gets to name a newly discovered star. I call this apparatus the insert receiver, because that's what it does. Now that the bracelet is compressed, the lines and ridges are formed, we use a jeweler's saw to open it at the seam, producing a shape much like a wrist, and the rest is just finishing, sanding, filing, polishing, adding stones, piercing out negative shapes, and this is what a silver one looks like. That's using the hydraulic press to produce a bracelet in a couple of hours. Just a reminder, our sign up at www.easyereg.com will be available online only beginning the first Saturday of August. I hope to see you here soon. I am teaching 3 classes with an open lab. Tuesday afternoon is an introductory silversmithing class. Wednesday morning is an intermediate class improving torch handling skills. Wednesday afternoon, the hydraulic press class, and Tuesday night from 6 to 9, an open lab where you can use the facility, and I am here as a guide. See y'all soon.